What's going on, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV. Now, before we start this video, I'd just like to say this video is sponsored by OneFootball, the app that lets you keep up to date with all the news, stats, facts, everything good you need to know about football. Like today, obviously, it gave me all the Chelsea scores as it was coming through, although I was at Stamford Bridge, lineups, all news stories and all that good stuff. So download the link in the description down below. Now I'm going to give you some match ratings for the West Ham players tonight. A lot of effort tonight, unlucky in spells. So I'm going to give a fair assessment. So I'll go for the starting 11 first. Fabianski, I thought, was a good 6. I thought he was, you know, he couldn't do nothing about the goals. He made some great saves. Let himself down a little bit with flapping at some things tonight, which, you know, I would have given him a 7 otherwise. But no, do you know what? That's a bit harsh. I'm going to give him a 7 because he did make some really important saves. But not an awful lot to do really for against the top side. I remember him making 2-3 saves. So I'll give him a 7 just to be fair. Cresswell at left back. Oh, sorry, let me swap the camera. Cresswell at left back. I thought done okay. Tough task tonight. Two pacey, skillful wingers in Hazard and Hudson-Odoi. Fredericks had Hazard on his side most of the night, but when he did drift over there, he struggled a little bit. Going forward. Anderson wasn't offering him much protection because I thought Anderson was poor again. So I'll give Cresswell a solid 6 today. Ogbonna got caught out early on against Hazard, went one-on-one and made a foul, which got him a booking. I thought it could have been a sending off. I didn't see the defender coming around. I thought he was going to go for that, to be quite honest with you. But he never got a booking. It was a bit of a tough test from them because they've got skillful, you know, players coming across him all the time. I'll give him a 6 as well because I thought what he did do, he did well. I think we defended a lot better tonight, especially from set plays. Quite solid at the back, especially in the second half. So I'll give him a 6 as well. Balbuena, I thought, was the catalyst of our good defence tonight. Didn't look out of place. Possibly could have done a bit better for the Hazard goal, the first Hazard goal, but I won't hold it against him. He's been out for a while. Why it's took him so long to get back in the team, I don't know. Looked more solid tonight. I'll give him a 6.5. I think that's a fair assessment. I think he was a little bit better than Ogbonna. Not, you know, totally blameless for the goal, but it is what it is. He's been out for a long time. Looked a lot more solid with him in. Ryan Fredericks over on the right. Poor game for me, I'm afraid. Does well with his pace, but it's going forward that he sort of seems to lack a little bit of composure. He seemed to me like every time he got the ball, he was whacking the ball 40 foot in the air. Didn't get forward as much as he would want to tonight. And when he did go forward, it wasn't very good. I'm going to give him a 5. Nobes in the middle, run his heart out. Not a lot better in the second half, as I said, but he come off for Obiang. I'll give him a 5 as well because I thought he was, although he put a lot of effort in. No, I'm going to be fair. I'll give him a 6. Put a lot of effort in, but you know, to no avail really. Rice as well. Again, not one of his better games. I think he was sort of drifted out of the game by Loftus-Cheek, who I thought had a good game. He's a big athletic lad. Struggled a little bit against him. He'll learn from that, though, Declan. That's what he does. I'll give him a 6 as well. Lanzini, again, first half, not all there. He's not quite back to his best yet. He's trying to integrate in the system. Don't forget, like, what you got to forget, you know, people are moaning about, I'll turn that off, sorry. People are moaning, oh, fucking hell, now it is dark. People are moaning about Lanzini, but he hasn't had the same integration into Pellegrini's system that everybody else has. He hasn't had the whole summer. He's only just come back. He's still regaining his fitness. He's looking a lot more sharper. He looked sharp in the second half. He's playing 90 minutes, so that'll get him all the way. But once again, not quite there yet. But did well tonight, I thought. Linked up with an Arnautovic in the second half quite well. I'll give him a 6.5. Arnautovic out on the left. First half, it was a 2. Second half, I think, an 8. So I'm going to balance it out. I'm going to give him a 7. I thought he was our best player tonight, Arnautovic. You know, everyone had a poor first half, but second half, he looked like he was getting back to his best. He seemed to sort of try and get a little bit of rapport with the fans, and the fans were quite responsive to him. So maybe that sort of showed him that the boos last week at London Stadium weren't for him. It was more for the substitution. I know a lot of people were frustrated with him, and I could hear a few individual voices from the stands tonight. You know, I was one of them, to be quite honest with you, because I thought first half he looked like he wasn't interested. But starting out on the left, or was it right? He might have been on the right. I thought he was a little bit ineffective first half, but as I said, he was a 2 in the first half, 8 in the second half. So I'll balance it out. I'll give him a 7 because I thought second half really made up for the first half. Left wing, Anderson, of course, Anderson. For me, not a lot. He didn't do a lot. I thought another poor game from him, which is, you know, quite a few in a row now. Really seems to struggle against the top side. Struggled since the turn of the year, to be fair. But I was saying to Dom before we came home, you know, this is a tough league. It's a tough league. He's a South American. He's used to playing in Italy. We get a little bit of a slower game, so the pace of the game might be catching up to him. He's played a lot of games for us this year. He's only missed, I think he's missed one last week, and that was it. So I think the season's catching up to him a little bit. Tried a few things, never come off. He gets a 5.5 for me. And up front, Chicharito. To be fair to Chicharito, I mean, match winner against Huddersfield, but, you know, missed last week because of jet lag and all that sort of stuff. Didn't start last week. Tonight, totally not his fault. It was the rest of the players around him not feeding in the ball. He needs a certain type of service, Chicharito, and I just don't feel like we give, you know, we're set up to play to feed him. Isolated up there, barely touched the ball. He's got to get a 5. I'm not going to give any player less than a 5 because it really wasn't his fault. If I was being harsh, I'd give him like a 3 or a 4. But I'm going to give him a 5 just for, you know, old time's sake. Snodgrass, once again, I thought, along with Arnautovic, he was our best player. Not a lot to say about him apart from just the effort and the drive, and you know, he seemed to be the catalyst for, you know, rustling Chelsea a little bit in the second half. So I'm going to give him a 7 as well. If I'm going to give him a 7, I'm going to give Arnautovic a 7.5 because I thought Arnautovic just edged Snodgrass. But I'll give him a 7. Obiang came on. I don't see the point of him. He jack of all trades, but master of none. He just doesn't do anything in the midfield, doesn't offer you anything going forward. I think he barely offers you anything defensively. Just seems to jog around, not doing a lot. He's got to be a 5. Am I missing anyone? I don't know. I think that's all the subs we made. Noble come off. Chicharito come off. Yeah, I think that's it. If I'm missing someone, please, it's been a long night. I apologise. But, yeah, just disappointing. I felt the effort was there. You know, if the effort was there against Everton and Cardiff a couple of weeks ago, we'd have got them wins, and it wasn't. So it's disappointing to see that we can play that way, and we you know, the effort's just lacking. Maybe it's the pitch, maybe it's the conditions, I don't know. But yeah, just disappointing tonight all in all. Manager, I'm going to give him a rating of a... He's got to get a 4 for me. Maybe a 5 because he changed it around second half. Because I thought first half, although it's probably on paper our best team, I just don't think, as I say, I don't think the system suits the striker, and I think the striker's got to be the focal point. It's no coincidence over the last few weeks that we're struggling to get shots on goal, and that's because we're not feeding the strikers, we're not getting the ball forward quick enough, and I think that's what he's got to implement in training, getting the ball forward, playing with a little bit of urgency, and then when we're off the ball, being better off the ball to get the ball back in key areas, and I think that's where we lack a little bit. as I say, when we do get the ball in key areas, everyone's just standing around and watching. It's a little bit like the Bilic days, you know what I mean? That's what I felt like it was under the Bilic days in the last knock-ins. But he did turn it around second half. He made some key substitutions. He's not always great with his substitutions, so he'll probably get a 2 from me from the first half, but you know, he redeems himself with a 6 in the second half, I think. I don't know why he bought Obiang on. I would have just preferred Nobes. I think Nobes just gives you a little bit more. I know his legs were going, but a Nobes with the legs going is worth more to us than an Obiang, in my opinion. So I'm going to give him a 4 for team selection and you know, rating. Maybe a 5 because of the substitutions. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us for this team ratings. I hope I ain't batting on too long, but you know, go and check out all our other stuff on the go and check out all our other stuff that we've done earlier on today. We'll be coming out with a lot of content this morning. We're going to start really pushing it for the last sort of 5th of the season now, last few games of the season, last 5 games of the season. So check it all out. One thing left to say, come on you Irons.